Thanks for staying with us. You're watching Joe News today. Now, it was like a Hollywood movie when unidentified and fully armed men attacked a prison facility in Nigeria's Kogi state and aided the escape of at least 240 prisoners. This becomes the second mass jailbreak in Nigeria after a first in April this year, where more than 1,800 inmates broke out and escaped. Authorities in Nigeria confirmed that many of the inmates in this prison were suspected Boko Haram militant, although they have not confirmed if it is the militant group that is behind the attack. Kayode Labende is head of news and editorial at Radio Now in Nigeria, and he joins us live via Zoom for a conversation. First of all, can you give us a background to the story?
Thank you very much. I think the background to the story is the fact that it came as a bit of shock because there's been so much concentration in the northeast where the Boko Haram is predominant, and so much concentration in the northwest where we have the bandits ravaging and kidnapping children and women. But to now have a jailbreak in Kogi State, which is the north central, came as a big shock. But we can connect the dots to realize that a bit of profiling of the inmates that actually escaped were largely terrorists that were arrested.
Hello, Kayode, are you with us? Okay, unfortunately, I think we may have lost Kayode there, who was just giving us a bit more details about this second jailbreak this year in Nigeria. We'll try and raise him back on to continue with the conversation. But the news is that some 240 prisoners have escaped. We're not sure those behind this jailbreak, but there was one earlier this year, back in April, where more than 1,800 inmates broke out and escaped. For now, authorities in Nigeria, well, Kayode, I understand, is back with us. Kayode, we lost you there briefly. You were telling us about the background to this recent jailbreak. Let's finish off from where we lost you.
So basically, we can connect the dots to look at it from the angle of the profiling of these inmates, where that many of them were largely terrorists. That's the Boko Haram terrorists that were arrested sometimes back. So it is speculated, because we are yet to hear from the authority who is actually behind the attack, and no group has yet claimed responsibility. But it all looks like it was more of a coordinated attack by the terrorists, that's the Boko Haram insurgents particularly.
Kayode, has there been any public statement of responsibility or who is behind this?
For now, there has not been anyone claiming responsibility. What the authority had said is that the Minister of Interior, that's Rauf Aregbesola, has called out to the freed inmates to return. Otherwise, they would have to face the wrath of the law. But whether that is a threat that will be taken seriously by the escapees is yet to be seen. But 3 persons were rearrested this morning when they made attempts to move to another state, that's in Kwara State, a neighboring town from Kogi State. So as we speak, it's a situation where the civilians are more worried. They are scared. They don't want these people to mix up with them in the community. So everybody is on alert to ensure that any strange faces or any strange set of people joining them in the community, they will be willing to alert the security agents to do the needful. So for now, what has been prevalent is more of bandits attack, and but this looks like a bit of distraction, which may be some kind of lapses on the part of security, who seems to be paying more attention to the bandits rather than the terrorists in the northeast.
And tell us about the kind of resources dedicated to finding this over 200 persons who have escaped this particular jail.
To be very frank, that's a very, very serious issue you've just raised, because there have been several attacks almost every day. And so when you talk about resources, you would expect that there will be some kind of surveillance, there will be some kind of roadblocks that are thorough. Those things are not very regular. But since they've been placed on alert, let's hope that security will be enforced. And you may also remember that 50 meters away from the prison, there was a roadblock by the military. This roadblock was also dispersed with sporadic gunshots. So it might be a situation where this roadblock may have to be reinforced in different parts. And I think it's getting too long for us not to hear that these men have all been rearrested, or a large number have been rearrested. So it's quite worrisome. But I can say certainly that we have enough firepower to do the needful. But maybe I should also add, the government has also called on the Interpol to be at alert to assist them in arresting these escapees. That is actually the current situation now.
Just finally, real quick, we talk about the fact that there was another jailbreak back in April, 1,800 people. How many of the 1,800 were found?
To a large extent, we can give account that a good number of them have been found. There are no information out there. I may also remind you that during the NSAS protest in Nigeria last year, we also had a case of jailbreak in Edo State. That's in the south. So I think the recovery or the rearrest process has not been largely successful. So this is quite worrisome, and it's something that the security agents would have to give a proper profiling of all these persons that escaped. Otherwise, this might actually embolden some of these criminal elements to engage in the further attacks.
All right, Kaide, we'll leave it here. We thank you very much for your time. That's news editor at Radio Now in Nigeria, giving us an update on this jailbreak situation in Nigeria. And the update is that 3 persons have been rearrested. This is Joy News Today. We've got business coming up with Daryl Kwao shortly. Stay with us.